On Monday, when we decided to find out what is still choking Delhi, we didn't have to go too far. 4 mega examples that show how unabashed construction is still on, rubble and sand is left in the open, and even garbage continues to burn.
Owing to the high levels of pollution that has been witnessed in and around Delhi NCR, there was a complete ban on the construction activities. But despite this ban in place, we can see several areas in and around Delhi which is openly flouting this rule. Now, one such area caught on camera is Munirka, and this particular construction area comes under the DMRC.
And then there is construction work that goes on as if there was no ban. Welding and other construction has been banned by the National Green Tribunal, but the Delhi Metro Railway Corporation doesn't seem to care. The National Green Tribunal has mandated covering all construction debris and rubble to control dust to lower pollutants in the atmosphere, but that isn't being done. In Munirka too, we exposed how underground metro construction activity is still underway.
एक बात बताइए, अभी फिलहाल कंस्ट्रक्शन चल रहा है यहाँ पे?
हाँ, अभी चल रहा है।
अच्छा, कब से चल रहा है?
ये
क्योंकि बहुत टाइम से बंद था ये।
2000
नहीं, अभी फिलहाल कंस्ट्रक्शन चल रहा है?
अभी चल रहा है।
पर मना नहीं है क्या कंस्ट्रक्शन अभी?
मना तो है, बट अंदर अंदर चल रहा है, ऊपर नहीं चल रहा।
जो काम तत्काल हो सकता है वो तत्काल हम कर रहे हैं। हाथ जोड़ के मेरी केवल इतनी विनती है कि दिल्ली की सरकार जितने काम कर रही है, जो खतरा दिल्ली के नागरिकों पर है, पूरे देश के उत्तर भारत के नागरिकों के ऊपर वही खतरा है।
While the Aam Aadmi Party and the centre are busy blaming each other and busy offering lip service, it is clear that they are directly responsible for choking Delhi. So Mirror Now asks, when will the Aam Aadmi Party and the centre wake up? Mirror Now report.
You're watching Mirror Now. I'm Faye. This is the urban debate. We're focusing on the mess that is Delhi right now. Shocking discoveries made by our reporters just today that are on your screen. Construction that should have stopped. Landfills that shouldn't be burning. Open piles of debris that should have been covered up. What are the various government agencies that are responsible for Delhi doing? These are low-hanging fruit. These are actions that could have been taken. These are problems that should have been stopped. We have with us today 3 representatives of the Congress, the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party who are collectively responsible for what is going on in Delhi today. We also have 3 citizen activists who've been working very hard to bring some sort of a solution to the city of Delhi. I want to remind our viewers that the air in Delhi today is so bad that it's not unlike smoking 45 cigarettes through the day. So imagine small children going to school effectively smoking mandatorily 45 cigarettes through the day. That's the Delhi that we live in. And we must remember the reason why Delhi is so important is because these are solutions that should be applied to every one of our big cities, all of which are heading in the same direction. They're not as bad as Delhi, but if we continue in this manner, there is no reason why all of our cities won't be just this bad. I want to do a quick round of introductions to all of our guests who've come in. I want to thank you for your time. Nikhil Pava is the editor and publisher of Media Nama, who has been giving suggestions to the Aam Aadmi Party-led government for the last 2 years. We're going to find out what is the status of those solutions and what the government has done so far. Shazia Ilmi is the spokesperson of the BJP. Manpreet Singh is the spokesperson of the Punjab Congress. Mr. Kailash Vasudev is a senior advocate with the Supreme Court. He's also amicus curiae in the case right now that is before the NGT and the Supreme Court. Richa Pandey, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Dhruv Rathi is a social activist and a YouTuber who comes in as a citizen voice. I welcome all of you to this conversation. My appeal, like it has always been to the representatives of governments, is that let's not start a blame game because there's no point in it. We will not achieve anything. Let's focus on the solutions and what has been done so far. I'm going to start with Richa Pandey of the Aam Aadmi Party. Richa Pandey, you've seen the footage that we're running on our screen right now. The Delhi Metro Rail construction is still on despite the ban. We've had construction workers confirm to our reporter that the construction is on despite the ban and they have not stopped. Can you please explain to us why this is still happening in the city of Delhi? Something that's under the government's control.
Definitely. This is an excellent footage, and I congratulate you for doing this kind of a legwork. DMRC, NBCC, just 500 meters away from Supreme Court is Pragati Maidan construction happening. Near Aam Aadmi Party office is Congress headquarter being built. These are the sites which can be immediately stopped, but nobody is stopping them. They all come under central government. They all come under BJP in some way, and they have to be stopped. And continuously since last 4-5 days, I am talking on all the channels that why nobody is stopping the Pragati Maidan construction, the DMRC construction, and the other.
But you are the government of Delhi. Isn't the Delhi Environment Ministry under the state government?
So the police is under the state, is not under the state government.
You don't have the ability to send a notice?
And also the landfill sites.
Delhi State Environment Ministry doesn't have the ability to send a notice?
We cannot do any crackdown or either on MCD.
Delhi State Environment Ministry doesn't have the ability to send a notice?
Ma'am, it doesn't matter. Whatever we say, these will continue, and under our nose, these things will continue. Nobody is even bothered.
Have you sent a notice?
The insensitive BJP government and the MCD and the central government run by BJP definitely, they are not even stopping these. I mean, just imagine 500 meters away from Supreme Court, the Pragati Maidan site. I mean,
but you know, Richa Pandey, I started this show by politely asking all members of government to refrain from a blame game. Can you please tell me how many notices you have sent so far? How many notices have you sent so far?
We are not the enforcement agency, so we cannot send notices to these respective bigger organizations or departments. How can I send a notice to NHAI? I can just request the central government to cooperate. So this is not politicizing, this is stating the facts.
So what is within, so you don't have the ability.
The viewers should know that the
let me take this to one second. Let me take this to Kailash Vasudev. Kailash Vasudev, I'm not talking about the landfill sites. I'm talking about the Delhi Metro Rail construction. Mr. Kailash Vasudev, what is within the purview? I'm starting. Let's go point by point. Let's go one by one, so we can't dodge and duck. Mr. Kailash Vasudev, does the Delhi State Government's Ministry have any power to send notices, to fine people, and to actually write out complaints or to get an FIR filed if their rules are not being followed?
A very principal issue in this matter is the DPCC, the Delhi Pollution Control Committee, in exercise of powers under the Air Pollution Act, can not only issue notices, it can issue penal orders, and it can stop constructions. DPCC comes under the Delhi government. The question of BJP and the Congress and God knows what have you, who are carrying on constructions in this city, is very tragic for all of us, because this city is now being converted into a graveyard. We have come to a situation where nobody gives a little about the health and the status of the citizens. Children are not able to go to schools. There's a blame game. It doesn't stop. Even right now, we are told by the AAP representative, the BJP is doing this, the Congress is doing this, that party is doing this, and we are powerless. If you're powerless, quit and go home. We don't need you. We need a clean environment. We don't want a government which is creating an environment which is wrong. It is very sad to hear all this on television, and that also in the public statements that we are unable to do anything. If you're unable to do anything, go home, please. This is not governance. We are all entitled to our rights. Our children are entitled to rights. Our grandchildren are entitled to rights. And you say you cannot do anything about it? Shocking. There are so many statutory provisions under which you can act. DPCC can act. Why can't it do anything? Forget anything else. Forget your governance. DPCC should act. You have the
Richa
power.
Pandey, what is your response?
If I will come and say something, then you will say that why you should quit. I mean, if that is what you want, then what is the solution of Gurgaon, and then what is the solution in Ghaziabad, and the solution in Noida, where we are sitting right now?
Hang on.
My
question is, how many notices have the DPCC sent out?
If it is not under my control, if it is not under AAP government's control, how can I control NH24 or NHAI, or how can I control anybody who is not under my control?
No, see, Richa Pandey, you just had Kailash Vasudev rebut you.
No, let whatever he is saying, I don't know what he is saying. See, we can increase the green cover. We have worked on that. We are sprinkling water. We have banned the law. We have banned. So, Mr. Kailash, I was not interrupting when you were speaking. So please let me say. We have banned we have closed the Badalpur power plant right now. We have closed whatever we can close and ban. We have done that. There is a plastic ban in Delhi since so many months. But who is the enforcement agency? It is police. I cannot go and crack down on the shopkeepers who are running.
Richa Pandey, I'm not buying this. You have a Delhi Pollution Control Board. You have a Delhi Environment Ministry. If not anything else, go file an FIR. Have you filed an FIR?
That body cannot enforce. You have to understand. Here, you are showing a landfill site burning on your TV channel, and you're saying how Aam Aadmi Party government is responsible for that. If you show something, a PWD road, I will.
No, hang on. Listen. Let me make this very clear. Okay, can we just have a moment? Just 1 second. Richa Pandey.
Under me.
I don't care about the politics. No, I don't give a damn about the politics. I don't care about the politics. I'm simply saying this. It is not about jurisdiction. It is about lives. It's about our children. It's not about jurisdiction. You do what you can. If nobody is listening to you, go to the police station and file an FIR. Have you filed an FIR? Have you sent an order? I am not saying the landfill is your responsibility. I'm saying the Delhi Pollution Control Board is your responsibility. The Environment Ministry is your responsibility. What have you done other than blame the BJP? What have you done?
Also stay in Delhi. So we are more concerned about Delhi. But this is first of all not only a Delhi issue.
What is your helpline?
What
is your helpline?
No, DPCC has issued helpline. They have created a call center. You can just check on Google.
What is the helpline? Give me the number.
So I don't have the number right now. How can I give you? You have to Google it. Please check.
Let's see if it's working.
Please find the resources from your resources. You cannot pin the blame on me.
Nikhil Pava, I want to bring in Nikhil Pava. Nikhil Pava wants to understand.
There are so many things.
I am not pinning the blame on anybody. I want to know what you have done, and it seems like you've done precious little.
Please ask MCD spokesperson. And
I will ask. One second, Richa Pandey, I will ask whomsoever I need to ask questions. We have everybody here, but you are not able to answer the questions that I've asked you.
On water sprinkling, I'll answer.
You're not able to answer the questions that I've asked you. You offered me no answer other than the fact that ask the BJP.
Then
what sort of a response is this for the people who voted for you?
We are, whatever is in our hands, we are working on each one of that.
Okay, let me take this over to Shazia Elmi. Shazia Elmi, spokesperson of the BJP. Shazia Elmi, spokesperson of the BJP. There is a landfill on. 1 second, Richa Pandey, calm down. If not anything else, I suggest Richa Pandey Google the numbers that we asked you for.
Why should I Google?
Shazia Elmi, there are landfills on fire in the city of Delhi right now that the MCD is responsible for the landfills. MCD is responsible for picking up garbage, for segregating garbage. Why? Why are we living in a city which is already toxic and we have garbage on fire? How is there any justification for this, Shazia? What is the MCD doing?
There is no justification whatsoever. And I really think complaint should be made whichever corporator is responsible, be it a BJP corporator or a Congress or an AAP, this thing. But let me make a correction here. DMRC is a public sector company owned jointly by centre and state, with 50% equity by both, made under an act of parliament. So I just kept hearing this mistruth grossly being talked about because the construction
we do not have any running rights of DMRC.
The
construction
which is owned jointly by
etc.
centre
is not
and
under us. They just take funds from us. That is all.
So no, let me finish.
Please read the whole thing and come.
No, they don't take funds from you. There is nothing like that. You're talking complete nonsense. You're talking complete nonsense.
Please mind your language. Shazia, please mind your language.
You're making such a mockery of
you have changed.
you're making a complete
please mind your language. You are on national television. You are not sitting in BJP headquarters right now.
Joint participation.
Just mind your language.
50%, yes.
Yes, mind your language.
Please.
First of all, you are giving wrong information.
Can I say what I'm saying?
You are giving wrong information and then you are using words like nonsense.
Can I just finish saying what I'm saying?
No, how can you finish saying something?
Equity of both.
You do not know how to talk on national television.
So it is not under the centre, as was just said.
No, Shazia, please focus on the landfill that I asked you about. The landfill comes directly under the East Delhi Municipal Corporation, which is controlled by the BJP. Shazia, if you can hear me. I want to know about the landfill that is on fire that my reporter discovered today.
If MCD...
No, 1 second. Ladies, please do stop talking at the same time.
When that MCD site or zone has responsible for this. No, I was making a simple point. We heard for the first 10 minutes about DMRC. All I was saying was 50% is owned jointly by both centre and state, Delhi Metro Rail Corporation.
But my question
to you, it's not under the centre.
My question to you, Shazia Ilmi, is about the landfill that is on fire. Why is there a landfill on fire that is responsible? It is the responsibility of the East Delhi Municipal Corporation.
I don't know why there's I have no idea. I have no idea why there's a landfill on fire. Please tell me where. And if there's an MCD corporator who's from BJP, please punish and have a complaint.
Then why
he should be. He or she should be from whichever party.
Okay, I will tell you who the MCD corporator is who's responsible for this landfill.
What is wrong with this lady?
Shazia Ilmi, the landfill that is on fire is in Ghazipur, New Delhi. This is negligence by the East Delhi Municipal Corporation. The East Delhi Municipal Corporation Commissioner is Dr. Ranbir Singh, IAS. Mayor is Neema Bhagat. Here are the names. This is completely and entirely the responsibility of the East Delhi Municipal Corporation run by the BJP. What is your justification?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. No, I don't know. I've just heard about it from you. I will talk to Neema. I've just heard about it.
Now she will talk to Neema. And now Neema will solve the problem.
I'm not. I'm taking responsibility for it.
BJP.
I'm taking responsibility, of course.
There is no system.
Of course. We have to take responsibility for it. But I want to say another.
I want to stop this.
Can we just
I want to stop this rather embarrassing blame game and go over to Nikhil Pava, who joins us right now. Ladies, please. Nikhil Pava has presented before the government several suggestions on how the Delhi problem should be tackled, and he's presented these suggestions over the last 2 years. Nikhil Pava, what are the suggestions? And I want you to focus on only 2 or 3 very, very low-hanging fruit that the government can still put into action to save the children of Delhi. And what reaction have you received from the Delhi government so far, Nikhil Pava?
Well, so far I've not heard back from them. This is a list that is put together by lots of people on Twitter about 2 years ago. We submitted it then to a few people from the AAP. The point is that this problem has been recurring every year for the last 5 years now. It's only been escalating. Give it another 2 weeks, as it becomes colder, it'll become worse. So, you know, as such, I think it's completely negligent, ignorant, and irresponsible of both the centre and the state that they can't even estimate that there's going to be a problem or expect that there's going to be a problem, and they don't act on it from the beginning. Right? There needs to be a preventive measure that's taken through the year instead of waiting for this. Every year for the last 3 years now, in August or September, I've tweeted to this to Arvind Kejriwal and to some ministers in the centre asking, what are you going to do? Because a month and a half from now, we're going to have this problem. If I can see it, are they so blind that they can't? I mean, here you've got the two parties just shouting at each other, blaming each other. What do we do? What are we supposed to? I mean, I was about to move out of Delhi about a few years ago. I had to come back. I want to get out of here. And there are people who've moved out of here as well. We can move. A lot of people can't. You know, the first thing that they needed to do, as soon as it reached alarming levels above 300, you know, they should have just announced an emergency, sent messages across, over 400, shut down the schools. Why are schools open even today? Why has there been no information that has been sent to citizens via SMS, via any other means. You have enough budgets to run advertising campaigns for your projects. You don't have the budgets to run a campaign to essentially inform people how to protect themselves. There are people who believe that if they're in schools or indoors, they will not be affected by the pollution. Whereas the pollution levels are almost the same whether you're inside or outside if you're not running a purifier. There is no awareness campaign around masks, nothing. They're just sitting here blaming each other. What are we supposed to do?
No. First of all,
Nikhil, do you want the Delhi government to close schools at least?
The second point that I want to talk about is the public
absolutely.
transport
It's
system.
important for them because people should not be sending their kids to school in these conditions.
For the last 2 years.
I'm sorry, could you let me finish, please? People should not be sending their kids to school. I was talking to a college professor and she was talking about how her students in colleges are suffering while being in class. And they have to go because they don't have a choice because their attendance is necessary. Schools and colleges need to be shut down. Companies need to enforce rules where people can work from home.
And whose decision is that? The decision of the Delhi state government.
Yeah, that's entirely in the hands of the government to at least inform people about what they should or shouldn't do. And in fact, not just the state government. Why isn't the central government or the Ministry of Health stepping in if the state government is either incompetent or it is negligent? We're seeing negligence and incompetence by both the state and the center. I mean, about 2 months ago, I saw fires being lit across the highway. Things were being burnt. Why is this public, like burning of leaves, etc., should be banned through the year? The Bhalswa landfill has been burning through the year. Why isn't anyone stopping that? You don't have to reach this stage at this point in time to try and point out things that we will or will not do. You should be preventing them. And this is not the first year this has happened. It's happened for the last 3 to 4 years. So either you're dumb or you're ignorant or you are negligent. Now you have to take your pick about both the center and the state about which one they are, because there's nothing else that's going to happen here.
You know, Nikhil Pava, because you're so active on Twitter, I have this question for you. My question is 9717593574 is a WhatsApp number that the Delhi Pollution Control Board has put up for citizens to take photos and complain to them when they see problems. Have you, as a Delhi citizen, received any action or any response on this number?
I have received no such message. I have not seen anything of this sort online. They have the funds. They should be actually promoting this number. Also, why are they doing it now? You know, I mean, the thing is that they need to first stop people from harming themselves. That's a responsibility. We need a paternalistic government action right now.
Right. I want to bring in Kailash Vasudev. Kailash Vasudev raised his hand and he had a point to make. Kailash Vasudev, I'm sick of the bickering. I want to understand what we can do to fix this.
Yes, you see, I'm coming out of the bickering. I have no interest of getting into this nonsense. The fact is this: the Delhi High Court took suo motu cognizance of this issue of the huge pollution menace in the city in 2015. In December of 2015, a spew of suggestions were given to the court, including the crop burning in Punjab, what is to be done with the dust which is there in the city of different size, PM10, PM2.5. In specific terms, issues were taken up with regard to the Anand Vihar complex. Anand Vihar is a very highly polluted area. It is in the border between UP and Delhi. A large number of directions were issued. Initially, there was a lot of action in which encroachments were removed, free traffic was designed, dust pollution was brought in, water controls were brought in, all sorts of things. After 6 months, we come back to the same situation as it was before, maybe even worse. On the issue of the forests in Delhi, the matter has been taken up by the High Court. Orders have been issued both earlier by the Supreme Court in 96-98, subsequently by the High Court. With regard to the other elements of pollution, the metro. Now, for example, the metro has cut 78,000 trees over a period of 4 years and given money to the Delhi government to plant trees. What does the government of Delhi say? We won't plant full-fledged trees, but we'll plant shrubs and trees all over the highways and all over wherever we can, because that will increase the green cover. The Supreme Court judgment is you cut 1 tree, plant 10. Here they cut 1 tree and plant 400 shrubs. It's like killing a bumblebee and letting the flies grow. It's not making sense anymore. The honeybee gives you honey, The bumblebees give you nothing. The flies give you nothing. We are unable to understand how government is functioning today. The National Capital Planning Region Board has been called upon to hold meetings, to come to decisions, take discussions with everybody. They've held meetings, but there have been no decisions. There have only been recommendations. You see, if you're running a governance system where you have got to deal with the environment, you've got to take in huge, very major policy decisions. Economics and environment don't work together. If you're looking at the economics all the time, then please forget the environment. Let us all eat rupees. Let us fry the currency and make food out of it. But if you have to look at the environment, then you've got to put economics into the background. You've got to balance the two. It's a sustainable growth. Here there is nothing sustainable which has been happening. In the past 10 days, things have been so sordid as far as the atmosphere is concerned. Political parties shouting at each other, governments shouting at each other. But none of them are willing to take in the huge line of decisions which the courts have implemented because they seem to be the only saviors. I mean, please understand, we in the courts don't know the environment as technical people. We can only tell you what is wrong and where the laws are. Here the laws are in the breach, the decisions are in the breach, the fighting is top level. You give them boxing gloves, boy, you're going to have all knockouts. So you see, you cannot work a system this way.
Yes, yes.
How long, how far, how much can the courts interfere? And when you keep the court orders and
you know, I just want to illustrate one point, Mr. Vasudev, if you give me a minute. I apologize for interrupting you. And this is in response to the Aam Aadmi Party. Yes, the DPCC helpline numbers, which should be, in my opinion right now, given the emergency that we're looking at, should be 24/7 helpline numbers. The first number, 23869350. I'm dialing it right now. My mic is going to pick up what is happening and the camera can see what is happening. This is the helpline number. Richa Pandey. Let's see if anyone answers this number. It is now 8:34 in the evening.
I'm not sure whether it is a 24-hour helpline.
How long shall we wait?
I'm not sure whether it is 24-hour helpline.
Shouldn't it be a 24-hour helpline? Given the fact, do you not believe that we're in an emergency?
Yes, there is an emergency, Faye, but you have to understand many things when you are presenting a show like this, that just blaming the Delhi government for this whole environment collapse in a way.
I want to know why nobody is answering this number.
The condition which we are facing in Delhi right now.
I don't care. I want to know why nobody is answering this number. This number is completely under the influence of the Delhi government.
Maybe you should try it during work hours.
I want to know if you find this ringing sound annoying, because I'm sure a lot of Delhi residents find it annoying right now.
At 10 a.m. in the morning, let's try. It's not a medical helpline. I mean, I'm not going to defend
it. It doesn't matter. You are in a state of emergency. Your reaction is not in the state. Second number, 23869378.
So, I mean, if you would let me answer on, the aspects of pollution in Delhi, which are under Delhi government's control, I can answer only those. But if you showed MCD, landfill sites, if you show central government things, and here...
But you brought up this number.
Ministers are saying that health and air pollution do not go hand to hand. They are not even recognizing the fact that we are in an emergency, a health emergency. It is a man-made emergency. So if you are asking questions to me, I have to answer those questions.
It's still ringing. For man to get rid of that emergency.
Yeah, it is ringing because
I am asking you questions. I want to know why this number is not being answered. So who should the citizens of Delhi go to right now if you are not going to answer their phone calls? From a number that you brought up on the show, you said we have a helpline. Also, the other things. Okay. Schools have not been shut. Come under the Delhi government. Nikhil Pava brought it up. Why has it not been done? Health systems. Are your health systems prepared right now for the kind of ailments that people are going to be suffering with? Do you have enough people ready in hospitals? Are they ready? Information about what masks work and what masks don't work. People in Delhi are walking around with handkerchiefs on their faces without realizing that it makes absolutely no difference to the particulate matter if you tie a handkerchief on your face. Where is all of the work that you could do that is within your jurisdiction? I want to bring in Manpreet Singh of the Punjab Congress. Manpreet Singh, please explain to me why the Punjab Congress has started another blame game at this point and has done absolutely precious little to stop the crop burning. What has your government done? You've actually gone and made the matter worse. Your chief minister right now is fighting with other chief ministers instead of aiming to solve the problem. Do you not believe that the Congress has any responsibility towards the people of this country? Does everything have to seem like a political opportunity to you?
No, Faye, I do not agree with you fully on this. Firstly, according to a study of the IIT Kanpur, at the worst of the time of stubble burning, if at all any contribution is done to the smog, it is not more than 7% ever at the highest level of burning. Firstly. Secondly, if you trust me, it is not a blame game at all, but I want to bring some facts to your knowledge.
So if you have cancer, one cigarette can't really hurt you.
Stubble burning is down by 44%. Listen, please let me reply. I'm not getting the audio proper. Hello. Audio.
Go ahead.
Audio nahi aa raha. Yeah. See, the stubble burning is down by 44%
we'll get that audio fixed.
as on November 11th this year, as compared to last.
No, stubble burning is double this year, both in Punjab and Haryana. There are statistics to this. So this is a wrong information. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead. Mr. Singh, go ahead. Mr. Singh, go ahead.
Let me reply to that. I have brought the Indian Express report along with me. It says it's 44% down, and it is not as per anybody's whims and fancies. It is as per the NASA picture. According to the latest data from NASA's NP/7RS satellite, this is a NASA picture. Whoever was interrupting, I would like to clarify.
This is a
NASA picture, and it says 44% stubble burning is down this year than last year. Firstly,
it's not even 1 month over
you were saying,
here, and
what has the government done? Please do not interrupt whoever it is. Let me reply. Stubble burning is down 44%.
Secondly, was my question. What has the Punjab government done?
Raised this issue in. That's what I'm replying. No? That's what I'm giving an answer. Secondly, our Chief Minister raised this issue with the Finance Minister and the Prime Minister in August and September, much before and prior to all this happening. And he raised this thing that the farmers need a proper plan and compensation for this. See, we have to understand the problem. There are 20 million tons of paddy straw, and disposing of 20 million tons of paddy straw is not an easy thing. The logistics, the disposal, where to place it, how to locate it. This is all a very big problem. Logistics is a big problem. 20 million tons is not a joke. So our Chief Minister, Captain Amrinder Singh, went to the Prime Minister, went to the Finance Minister. Is the audio? Hello? No, audio nahi aa raha.
Can I come in here, please? I just want to make a small point.
All right, so I just want to point out,
just
and I'm reading from the Economic Times, satellite data captured by Punjab Remote Sensing Centre found 40,510 burning incidents, and they have been going up through November. So that data is not correct. Go ahead.
So, Faye, can I come in here for a second?
No, this data is perfectly correct. Hello? I can't hear you.
Yeah, Manpreet, can
go
I
ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, now I can hear you. See, this is a NASA picture, and the number of incidents is down from 76,000 to 44,000.
No, it's wrong.
There's no doubt about it. This is confirmed data. Secondly,
so
our Chief Minister went to the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister for requisite funds to implement something to control this paddy straw waste. Thirdly, we started a paddy straw management challenge fund for innovation. Then the prize money is $1 million to any government, any university, any scientist, any bodies who can suggest some viable solution for this paddy waste management. The government of Punjab under CM Captain Amarinder Singh is committed to this cause. There's no doubt about it. With all these measures which we have just listed out, you can figure out that yes, we are on it. Secondly, I don't want to get into a blame game, but I want to ask,
now that all of the
it's a very sad
politicians have
state
had
of
a chance
affairs
to speak
in the NCR.
No,
Yeah,
please
just
don't
a
get into
small
the blame
point
game.
I want
don't
to
have the
make.
time for the blame game.
A small point which I want to make here, Faye.
Let me complete.
No, one second. I haven't brought Dhruv Rathi in. Dhruv Rathi.
Yes.
Dhruv Rathi as a citizen. Okay. Dhruv Rathi as a citizen of Delhi. You've just heard every government representative blame each other. But no solid solutions, Dhruv Rathi.
Yeah. So what the Congress spokesperson here was saying is actually true. I was just checking this on my phone. Yeah, there is actually an Indian Express report which says that stubble burning has been reduced 44%. But it says incidence of stubble burning has reduced 44%, and the data is given by the Punjab Pollution Board. So I'm not sure how much you can trust them.
Yeah.
But there is another report from last year, from 2016, done by
an old
another
report.
research done by IIT Kanpur, which says that if stubble burning stops completely, 90% of air pollution will reduce in Delhi. So we know here that all this construction dust and garbage burning is not that big of a problem. I interviewed Mr. Sisodia last week, and he also said that approximately 90% of air pollution problem in Delhi is because of stubble burning in Haryana and especially Punjab. So I don't know how true this report is, how true the data from Punjab Pollution Board is, but it's still 80 to 90% of pollution as of now. And when this problem was actually pretty big on November 8th and 9th, and since last couple of days, we see that Varanasi has become the most polluted city in India. So I see some truth there, that there was a huge cloud of smoke coming from Punjab to Delhi, which made Delhi the most polluted city in India on November 8th, 9th, and then this has passed on to the east, and now Kanpur and UP, Varanasi has become the most polluted place. So it's very difficult to say what can be done here except the crop burning thing. We should only target this crop burning issue here.
No, I completely disagree with that. I'm sorry.
Can I come in for a minute, please? Been asking for so long.
Yes, Suresh Pandey, go ahead.
Yeah, 45 crores were allocated to Punjab government, and they have not spent 1 rupee, either in the form of subsidy or to educate farmers. Out of that 45 crores, that was given specifically for this particular stubble burning thing. Secondly, there was a meeting 3 months back in which the central government and all other respective regional governments were there, state governments, and the issue of crop burning was discussed. A budget of 3,000 crores was requested from the center government to handle this in all the states. But the center government became quiet, and they did not do anything about that, and they are mum thereafter on this issue. So they are taking it very lightly, and now their union ministers are also saying that air pollution, because they have to give money, so they are creating things like air pollution and health do not correlate. There is no correlation. They have given an affidavit, written affidavit in the Supreme Court and mentioning this thing. So they are changing the whole discourse now, and this is very, very strange. Also, MCD, which plays a very big part in pollution in Delhi, when we talk about state should do something, in Delhi there is a 3-tier system. And for all practical reason, LG is responsible. But when has to take the flake, yes, Delhi government is responsible. And then here I am to take the flake, and I'm not shying away from my responsibility. On the school things, Delhi government schools were closed last week. Today there is a fluctuation, and the AQI is less than 500, and the Delhi state government is going to review it.
What is your answer
Delhi
to
state government is reviewing it, and there are MCD schools
of Delhi information.
So we have to look at all the aspects
and advice.
Faye, not just that, right? Why are we not acting like it's an emergency situation right now? It is above 400. The levels are above 400. Why are we not acting like it's an emergency? If you look at what happens in China, above 200 they treat it like an emergency situation. So if you're saying it's coming down it's gone below 500, I'm sorry, that's not enough. It is going to get worse as it gets cooler. Why isn't the government of Delhi treating it like it's an emergency?
Why is the national government treating it as an emergency? Government of Delhi has to work with all the other governments, and we need support.
It's ridiculous. You're acting as if this is all normal.
Shazia Ilmi.
This is
and
this
here
is a new
Shazia Ilmi saying
Shazia Ilmi, go ahead. Shazia Ilmi, go ahead.
Personally, and get this issue resolved.
I just spoke. Well, I just spoke once and I just clarified the position on DMRC because the sting that you showed was on DMRC. Two, and most importantly, while we discuss crop burning, let us not minimize the impact the vehicular emissions have actually, out of which two-wheelers are obviously the largest culprit owing to the sheer numbers. So where that is concerned, and construction sites and the dust comes from it is also to be considered. Now the solution really is a strong, robust public transport policy.
Yes,
and NGT, I'm not talking about BJP or AAP here. This is a tribunal actually slammed the Delhi government for not introducing a single new bus. 11,000 is a requirement for this youth city. And we have only 3,800 and some 1,000 cluster buses. When the requirement is out of 11,000, what is the reason being given? There are no depots. And there is a huge transport budget. There is a budget for the health
budget has been
allocation for Delhi government.
But there are no depots, which is a fact, and you have mentioned yourself.
So there is these are huge budgets. There's a proper transport. So, I mean, don't say you'll have new buses, say we don't have an answer.
At least take responsibility for MCD. You are also in BJP.
It's not about a depot. NGT said very clearly today that the buses are not being maintained. Half of them are not running.
The moment we take responsibility, we solve the problem half
the time.
Here,
so these are very
central government representative is not even recognizing the problem.
And whenever
they are shying away from the problem.
I am not shying away from the problem. Isn't it true that the Union Environment Minister actually made a statement? Shazia Ilmi, isn't it true that the Union Minister actually made a statement saying that
the
air pollution is bad, but it's not a killer?
Last year and this year, much before the crisis, about 6 advisories to the Delhi government.
What
they did not even show up or pay heed.
It is just last week that he mentioned this. It is just last week that
did he not say that it is not a killer?
Mentioned. You're not at all informed, Shazia. Where are you living?
Ladies, one at a time, please.
No, I'm very well informed. Richa,
ladies, one at a time, please. Sasha, didn't the Union Minister of Environment make a statement saying that air pollution is not a killer, underplaying what you're calling an emergency situation?
They are trying to change the discourse only.
No, as well, I don't agree with it then. Because air pollution is definitely contributes to the health. Definitely, and it's a huge part of it. So I will not agree with it. I will not just defend something that is wrong.
No.
So no, I'm not going to do that. I will take the blame for this.
In this whole matter.
But you know, we should cease to be just BJP Congress people. We should also be good citizens and offer good solutions and work with each other instead of always fighting each other. So I must take the blame for this, but also say that good transport policy is needed.
See, please understand.
Which is the root cause of the vehicular emissions and the sheer number of 65 lakh two-wheelers.
Mr. Vasudev, you know, this is the problem. Collectively, none of the reactions we're seeing from any of the governments merit the situation that we're witnessing. If we have a Union Minister of Environment saying this is not a killer, he's effectively underplaying the urgency of the situation. Yes, please go ahead. Mr. Vasudev.
See, what I'm trying to say to you is this. In all the debates which have taken place so far, we blamed the government. We blamed the government, or we held the government responsible, or we wanted the government to respond. Government is in two distinct limbs. One is the legislative element and one is the bureaucratic element. Your legislative elements are political parties. They will come and go. They are not permanent. They're 5 years. They succeed. They go on for another 5 years. They don't. The bureaucracy is there. They are the ones who are the spine of the system, where they're supposed to give enforcements and give advice to everybody as to how to enforce the law. What has happened to our bureaucrats? Even they don't stand up, they don't advise, they don't take action, and under the acts, it is they who are supposed to act. What stops them? Why must they kowtow to the politicians all the time? Is it because of considerations other than the duties which they're supposed to discharge? We always hear 4,000 policemen to guard one man, 500 policemen to keep the streets clean because Mr. X is going. You always hear of district magistrates, district collectors, commissioners kowtowing to a politician when he comes. There's a street to be reopened, you find the whole department standing there saluting the flag cutting. See, that is not their function. Their function is to implement the law. What stops them? What is there to prevent them from doing it? Why is it that when a political party changes, their trends change? Today you have party X, which flies a green flag, so you stand by it. Tomorrow you have a flag with a red flag, you stand by the red flag. What are the attitudes of government authorities and babus? Why are they behaving in this horrible manner? Have they lost their balance? Have they forgotten the fact that they appear in examinations selected on the basis of their merit? What happens to their merit when exercising judicial duties? They also have judicial powers, quasi-judicial powers. They've abandoned everything. Forget the politicians. Our bureaucrats are no better. Yep. They should stand up and say this is to be done. I'm not running away from the liability of the politicians.
Well, unfortunately, while that may be true, Mr. Vasudev, we don't elect our bureaucrats. Our bureaucrats are not by choice.
You're right, but they're answerable. Please understand.
Our bureaucrats are not our choice.
They're answerable. No one asks them for an explanation. What? Yes, in the DPCC, they're all bureaucrats. Why can't they take action? Whom are they scared of? Issue notices. Take action under the Air Pollution Act.
You know, I want to point out also there was a Twitter war which was just running on our screen between Arvind Kejriwal and Mr. Khattar of Haryana, talking about how they can't fix an appointment between the two of them. This is the value of the
pollution comes between them. Mental pollution comes between them.
Yep. Your audio nahi aa raha, boss.
I also want to point out to you, Shazi Almi, to one of the other channels today, Mr. Harshvardhan, Union Minister of Environment, made a statement saying, this isn't as bad as the Bhopal tragedy, we shouldn't panic. What is he trying to do? Is he trying to underplay the situation? Instead of him picking up the phone on other agencies and saying, we need to panic, why aren't you reacting? How can he make a statement like this? Where is the level of seriousness, Shazi Almi? Shazi Almi?
Hey, can I come in?
All right.
Hey, can I come in?
I want to go over to. I believe Shazi Almi has left the conversation, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to go over to Nikhil Phaba. Nikhil, let's actually try and help in this situation. Can we put forward, now I want you and Mr. Vasudev. Mr. Vasudev, I appreciate your patience. I know we've done this in the past before. Let's ask for a few basic things that governments can actually execute. Nikhil, what would be the basic things you would want the government to execute? And the representative of the government is sitting right next to you right now. What do you want from the government?
Well, firstly, I think they should stop heavy polluting vehicles from coming in into Delhi, at least for the time being. I mean, and that should be about 2 months leading up to Diwali. We've seen that there are massive traffic jams around Anand Vihar, ISBT, especially during peak hours, which is also when the buses are allowed in, and that adds to the level of pollution. I'm not a fan of odd even, but I think it's necessary at this point in time because it means that people will get less exposed to pollution. Shut down the schools for the time being, stop all the burning that's happening on the dumps around Delhi. Apart from that, I don't know, I guess inform people about what they can do to protect themselves. But, you know, as of now, it's just people are left to fend for themselves. There is no other, we can't depend on this government right now, that's for sure, or the central government.
Okay, can I add something to this? Go
ahead, Dhruv.
One thing which people can do here is they can, from their rooftops, they can spray water around in their surroundings. I think that's what the Delhi government is also trying to do through the fire brigades, but it's something which people can also do. And it helps reduce the localized pollution around their houses, and it will really help. I've been living in Delhi for the past 2 weeks, and that's something which my family has also tried, and it has been pretty effective. I also saw some reports on some other news channels where people are also doing this thing, and it's pretty effective.
Right, Mr. Vasudev?
More than this. You see, you're right. Dust is the biggest killer in this city. One of the major contributors of dust is incomplete projects. You know, you dig up roads, you dig up pavements, you dig up places for the purposes of construction and infrastructure. We never cover them up. So that dust is flying all the time. As per statistics available, I think the uncovered drains and construction sites and roads exceed 800 kilometers. Do you realize when there's a breeze over 3 kilometers, how much dust flies? Why can't these people start a project and close it? And then after you close it, today one department is digging, tomorrow another one is digging. So the first thing is, please cover all these open crevices on the roads. So that will make some sense. Second, I agree that there should be a water spraying system. That is a recommendation of the courts also. In the Delhi High Court, which had taken up this matter long back as an amicus, they had also suggested, please water this. Insofar as long-term planning has to come in. You see, one of the biggest reasons why we are facing this is the total erosion of green cover. You are permitting buildings every place. Industries are being stopped, so those lands are now being available, so you're building buildings on them. Construction activity is not a permanent affair as far as economics is concerned, nor is it good for the environment. The central government, look at its policies, must relook at the construction activities in the sand. Because you have construction, you have illegal sand, you have illegal mining, you have illegal transportation, and all sorts of things which come with construction activities. I am not opposed to construction, but regulate it, bring it in a manner that you don't destroy the green cover of a particular area or destroy the ecology of that particular system. There's an ecosystem. So first thing is, please cover all the open areas which are dug up. B, start spraying water to keep the whole thing in control. C, kindly regulate the number of vehicles on the road. Odd even is a good policy, but most importantly, start bringing about a restriction on the sale of two-wheelers, which are the largest contributors to pollution. The fourth element, and not the least, is bring about an awareness amongst the people for the purposes of disbursement, destruction, and burning of municipal waste. These three sites, Okhla, Bhalaswa, and the one at Gadaipur, are sites which have built over the past 20 years. They were only supposed to be there for 5. Today, Ghazipur, sorry. They've all become permanent sites, permanent eyesores, and permanent contributions to pollution. You've got to get rid of them. I mean, I've discussed a lot of this in the past on your programs, but the fact is there is no intent on the part of government to do anything about these sites, excepting talk, print more paper, have meetings, get paid for meetings, collect TAs and DAs, go home and say, look, I went for a meeting on pollution. I did an important contribution by talking. Do something.
Well, let me take this back to Richa Pandey of the Aam Aadmi Party. Richa Pandey, very, very simple suggestions being made by our panelists, and these are not difficult to implement. They're also suggestions that are fully within the purview of the Delhi state government. Stop trucks from entering the city altogether. Provide information, and I think that this is so basic. Provide information to the citizens of the city on what they should and shouldn't do. Dhruv's suggestion that just came in, saying use water around your own homes to settle the dust. Why hasn't that been told to the citizens of Delhi? Tell them what they should be doing to actually, what masks should be used, what they should do to keep their children safe. Has there been any health advisory that has gone out for pregnant women, for people with asthma, for senior citizens, for small children with respiratory disease? Actually prepare health advisories, put out information, stop the burning of the garbage, and cover up dust on construction sites and on the roads. How much of this can you confirm to us that you will be able to implement as soon as possible?
Yes, on almost I think 90% of them we are working, except the burning of garbage, which is not under our purview. But yes, the sprinkling of water is going on with fire tenders. We have requested for helicopters. If we get helicopters, we will work on that. Otherwise, this is a great suggestion by the co-panelist, and I will see to it that I share it internally also. And regarding advisories, health advisories has been given. Advisories have been issued to schools, etc. also.
No, why are schools still functioning? Why haven't you shut down the schools yet?
Schools were closed till Saturday.
So you should close them even now. The levels are still high.
Because yesterday, yeah, it is less than 500.
But
and as
above
per
400,
the
they should be shut.
As per the guidelines, it was for today. It is under close monitoring.
It's at 700
so
today
tomorrow
in places.
or maybe tomorrow onwards or day after tomorrow, the schools will be. It's a very fluctuating period right now, and
No,
as you know
not.
that
It's constantly above 400.
As you know
it's
that
not fluctuating.
So, I mean, please let me answer. So, we are trying to do our best with the environmentalists and the scientists and the researchers, and trying to work on wherever possible. We want to do it, and we are totally committed to do it. And what else can I say? The government is there for the people, and wherever we are lacking, we are taking responsibility and trying to improve the situation, and hoping that it rains soon in Delhi.
Nikhil Pava is not impressed. Nikhil Pava, why not? Why aren't you convinced, Nikhil?
No, because if they had to do something, they have a process in place where beyond certain levels they're supposed to act. They haven't been doing that. It's just negligence.
It's
not taking responsibility, they can keep taking responsibility. I'm sorry, let me finish.
We are the
they can
first
keep
ones
taking
to close
responsibility,
the
but what am I going to do with that taking responsibility?
No.
You know, what are kids who are going to get affected for their entire life
please.
going to do something with that responsibility? Nothing.
See, Delhi
This is just lip service. All these people just come to shows and do lip service. Citizens keep suffering.
As soon as the emergency was kicked, we only, Manish Sisodia ji only went ahead and closed the
an emergency
school. As
2 weeks
compared
ago.
to other states, I will not go into the comparative mode again. But we have tried to, and there is so much more to do, and we will do it.
I mean, I don't trust them to do anything, to be honest. It's completely incompetent, both at the center and at the state. Completely
I want to know, Richa Pandey, by when will you do it? Can you give me a date or a deadline when you can give us an update on what you have just promised?
We are already on.
When will you be able to come back to the show and give us an update?
Already, you can take the update tomorrow also.
We actually want data on what has been done and how much has been done.
I'm on your show almost every day, and every day I'm giving you an update. I'm giving you update almost every day, whatever new things we are doing, whatever measures we are taking. But you have to realize that air pollution is just not a Delhi-centric issue. Air does not start from Delhi and end at Delhi. It starts from Lahore, it starts from Punjab and goes till Varanasi and beyond. So we have to do we all have to come together. Shazia left the show today because she did not had any interest. She is indifferent, and that shows the callousness of BJP and center as a whole.
Nobody cares about your blame game.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Faye and the viewers.
Why aren't there
I believe she might
100
have left the
monitors
show because
across
she was
Delhi?
confirmed on a different show.
Why aren't there 100 monitors across Delhi?
Manpreet Singh of the Punjab Congress. Manpreet Singh, give me a commitment.
Hey, if you give me a little bit of time, I'll just explain what we have done till now and what we are doing. We have brought down the stubble burning by 44%. यार ये आवाज ऑडियो नहीं आ रहा आपका.
आप बोलिए मनप्रीत जी, आपकी आवाज आ रही है. Go on.
To bring down stubble burning, we have brought it down by 44%. Firstly, secondly, our Chief Minister, Captain Amarinder Singh, he went to the Prime Minister, to the Finance Minister, and alarmed them, red flagged the issue that we need funds to get over this thing of stubble burning.
You didn't do anything.
But no reply we have got from the central government. Thirdly, I'll give a reply to that also. The 45 crores or whatever this madam is mentioning to, I am telling you that more than 50% of that has already been given, approved and given as subsidy for happy seed drills, zero till drill, and SMS thing which we put on the harvester combines, wherein we can just chop the stubble. That is how it has come down to 44%. Hello? I can't hear you. It is with the sincere efforts
so
of the
tell me
government
something, the
that so
$1 million
much
prize that you're
mind you, we
willing
are
to
just
give
6 months
out,
in power.
could that have not been used?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're 6 months in power. It is the same level of accountability that we demand from the government in Uttar Pradesh that is also just 6 months in power.
Yeah.
The truth is, you are in power. You promised a $1 million prize for someone who comes up with a solution. Couldn't that money have been used to help the farmers with the money that they need to not burn stubble and to actually use a better option? The only reason the farmers tell us that they're burning is because they do not have the money for the better option. Why? What isn't the money? If the government has $1 million to hand out as a prize, couldn't you have used that money?
Tell me one thing. Do you think this 44% stubble burning which has come down is without any efforts? We are making sincere efforts.
First of all, this is an old report which you are showing, and second of all, you have not used any penny, so you are not well informed. I'm sorry to say that.
You see, you are not.
Sorry, Abid, but I have
you are
to.
in a habit of passing the buck.
No,
you are
this
passing
is not
the
my
buck on
buck.
everybody.
It's your buck only.
Listen to me. Please let me complete. I did not interrupt when you were speaking. Please let me complete. See, 44%, if the stubble burning is down, it is only down because of the sincere efforts of the government. We have given, I give it on record, I can put it on record that 50% of the money has already been disbursed as subsidies for the equipment and the machinery which we need for to prevent stubble burning. And mind you, this is the first season. We are just into the government and the rest of it will also be done. Hello?
You know, I find this, I find this really disappointing as I have to wrap up the show. There are two very disappointing things that happen. One was governments that continue to blame each other and pass the buck. And if you are telling me that you're just into the government for 6 months in Punjab, I'm sorry, but on this show, we hold all governments accountable. The ones that have been here for 6 months, like the one in Uttar Pradesh, and the ones that have been here for 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years. Everybody is accountable for your state. And if you're telling me you brought it down by 40%, it's not good enough. Because when someone is suffering from lung cancer, even one puff of smoke is a killer.
I agree.
And to find the fact that we have a union minister right now, and unfortunately I have to wrap up this discussion, but I'm going to continue to have these conversations until we can reach a clearer solution. We have a union minister of environment who turns around and says that pollution is not a killer. Is he even qualified for his job? He turns around and says this is not the Bhopal gas tragedy. This is worse, so much worse, because you are currently gassing an entire city of people without conscience. And it's not just Delhi. What about Chandigarh? What about Ludhiana? What about all of the other small towns and villages on the way as that smog travels across northern India? Why isn't any of these government agencies reacting with more urgency? Why aren't any of them treating this situation with the urgency that it deserves? It is a health emergency. There are airlines that have stopped flying into Delhi. People don't want to live in Delhi anymore. How can you do this? Our children are going to die. Do we have to pack them up and move them to their grandparents' homes and have them miss school because you don't even think it's even enough of an emergency to close the schools, to close the colleges? People are standing out in the smoke. And then for our reporters to go out and find this today. Construction sites that are still functioning, landfills, that's garbage that's on fire. Let me remind our viewers that when garbage is on fire, it releases methane. Not only is methane poisonous, it's combustible. It's the worst possible thing you can be adding to your air, and it's being added to Delhi right now. And those babies, those children are breathing that air. Construction sites are open all over Delhi. Rubble has not been covered by the National Highways Authority. And nobody wants to talk about it. It's ridiculous. Our politicians are turning this into a mess. And maybe, like Dhruv suggested, And like Nikhil suggested, Mr. Vasudev suggested, we should perhaps just start trying to fix things the best we can. Use our own sprinklers, use a garden hose. And also Google the people who are responsible for your particular space. And let me also remind our viewers that that one landfill that's on fire is from the MCD. And the MCD, the East Delhi Municipal Corporation, the mayor is Neema Bhagat. The commissioner is Dr. Ranbir Singh, IAS. These are the names. You know who's responsible. You should call them right now and wake them up at night and keep them up at night, because your children are going to be coughing all night. They're going to keep you up at night as well. There is no reason why Neema Bhagat and Dr. Ranbir Singh, IAS, should be allowed to sleep through the night either. None of them take this seriously. There should be a way in which we could make these governments take these things more seriously. We're going to stay on this story here on Mirror Now. Thanks for watching.